Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now, onto the latest news. A warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail. A cold morning broke over Glasgow, and Celtic Park was already buzzing before the sun even touched the rooftops. The streets around Paradise were packed with fans wrapped in green and white, phones in hand, waiting for confirmation of what felt like a dream. Wilfried Zaha, the man once called the Crystal Palace King, was officially announced as a Celtic player. The moment the club dropped the video, social media went up in flames. Zaha, standing proudly with the Hoops shirt, flashing that signature grin, spoke about passion, history, and the energy of the Celtic support. For years, Celtic fans had craved a signing that screamed ambition, something that told the rest of Europe the club wasn't just dominating Scotland, it was ready to make noise beyond the borders. And Zaha, with his Premier League pedigree, his electric pace, and his fearless style, became the symbol of that ambition. The announcement wasn't just a transfer, it was a statement, a thunderclap that echoed across the football world, as supporters in pubs from Edinburgh to Belfast raised their pints and shouted, "Zaha's a boy." The city's heartbeat synced with his arrival, fast, loud, and absolutely fearless. Inside the club, the buzz was almost as intense as among the fans. Brendan Rodgers, calm and composed as always, couldn't hide a smirk when asked about his new star. "He brings a different dimension," Rodgers said, and every journalist in the room knew exactly what that meant. Celtic's attack had been strong, with Maeda's energy, Kyogo's sharp finishing, and Palma's creativity, but Zaha added something unpredictable, something wild. The kind of player who makes defenders sweat before he even gets the ball. Training sessions turned into mini-shows, with teammates stopping to watch him twist past fullbacks like he was still at Selhurst Park, only now with the Celtic crest on his chest. Rumor has it that even Callum McGregor, who's seen it all, gave a whistle after one of Zaha's nutmegs. Rodgers reportedly told his staff that Zaha's hunger, after years of battling in England, could set the tone for the whole squad. Celtic had signed flair, yes, but they'd also signed fight, and that's the perfect mix for a team chasing history. The commercial side exploded overnight. In less than 24 hours, Zaha's number was the top-selling shirt in Scotland. The club's website nearly crashed as fans scrambled to order. Celtic Park's megastore had queues stretching around the block, with supporters of all ages chanting his name. Local journalists reported that even rival fans were curious to see him in the Scottish Premiership, wondering whether he'd light up the league or find it too physical. But that's the thing about Zaha, he's always thrived on challenge. When the world doubted him after Manchester United, he rebuilt his legacy at Palace through sheer determination. Now, in Glasgow, he's found a stage where his flair can meet the roar of 60,000 believers. And make no mistake, Zaha thrives on that roar. The noise, the pressure, the expectations, it all fuels him. The deal wasn't just about football, it was a cultural spark, a reminder that Celtic can still pull players who bring global attention. The city felt it, the fans felt it, and even those who doubted Scottish football's pull had to admit, this was box office stuff. Behind the scenes, sources close to the club hinted that this transfer had been in the making for months. Celtic scouts had been following Zaha since his Galatasaray stint, quietly checking his motivation, his fitness, and, most importantly, his desire to keep competing at the top. Zaha, for his part, wanted more than just another paycheck abroad. He wanted meaning, legacy, a connection. That's what drew him to Celtic. The club's European nights, the passion, the emotion, it reminded him of what football should feel like. He reportedly turned down offers from Saudi Arabia and the MLS to join the Hoops, something that earned him instant respect in Glasgow. The deal, structured smartly with performance bonuses, also showed Celtic's evolving business sense. It wasn't reckless spending, it was calculated ambition. And that's why fans trust it. This was the club saying, "We're not here to settle." Zaha's signing wasn't the end of something. It was the start of a new statement era. Those close to him say he's already settled in the city, walking through Buchanan Street with ease, smiling, soaking in the love. On the pitch, his debut couldn't have been written better. Coming off the bench in the 60th minute against Aberdeen, he instantly changed the game's rhythm. The crowd rose to their feet as he touched the ball for the first time, that familiar quick drop of the shoulder, sending defenders the wrong way. Within 15 minutes, he'd assisted Kyogo with a cheeky backheel that left everyone gasping. The stadium erupted like it was a cup final. Rodgers, calm on the outside, gave a small clap, but you could see the spark in his eyes. The post-match headlines wrote themselves, "Zaha ignites paradise." Analysts praised his movement, his directness, and his willingness to take responsibility. What impressed most wasn't just his skill, it was his work rate. He tracked back, pressed, and fought for every ball. For Celtic fans, it felt like the perfect balance between showmanship and grit. Suddenly, talk of Europe didn't sound like fantasy anymore. With Zaha in form, anything felt possible, and that belief spread through the squad like wildfire. In the pubs that night, fans couldn't stop replaying the moment. It wasn't just about football, it was about identity. Celtic has always been more than a club. It's a feeling, a story, a fight, and Zaha's arrival became part of that narrative. Some said it reminded them of the days when big names came not just for money, but for magic. The chatter grew louder with every pint poured. Could this be the season Celtic made a statement in Europe again? Could Zaha be the missing piece in Rodgers' tactical puzzle? Fans debated tactics, formations, and whether he'd play more centrally or wide. But deep down, everyone knew one thing: the spark was back. In a football world often dominated by corporate moves and emotionless signings, this felt different. This felt alive. Glasgow, for the first time in years, felt like the center of the football universe again, all because one man in green and white decided to make paradise his new home. Weeks later, the buzz hadn't faded. If anything, it grew. Every training clip of Zaha went viral. Every flick and feint shared thousands of times. Celtic's official accounts saw record engagement, and even neutral fans started tuning in to Scottish Premiership highlights just to watch him play. It wasn't just his talent, it was his energy, the joy he brought to the game. Reporters said he'd become a mentor to younger wingers, staying late after training to work on finishing drills with Abada and Young. Rodgers praised his professionalism, saying he'd brought a new standard to Lennoxtown. That's the thing with Zaha. For all the flair and noise, there's substance underneath. He's matured, grown from the fiery teenager at Palace into a leader who inspires by example. The dressing room feels it, the fans see it, and opponents now prepare differently. When Celtic step onto the pitch, there's a new edge, a sense that anything can happen. That's what stars do. They change the weather around a club, and right now, the forecast in Glasgow is pure excitement. Tactically, Rodgers has already started tweaking the system to fit his new talisman. The gaffer's been experimenting with a 4-2-3-1 that lets Zaha drift inside, while overlapping fullbacks stretch the play. The chemistry between Zaha and Kyogo is starting to look dangerous, one darting behind, the other gliding across defenders with the ball glued to his feet. In training, those two move like they've played together for years. Celtic's pressing game has also gained new teeth, with Zaha's intensity forcing turnovers high up the pitch. Analysts have begun to whisper that this might be Rodgers' most dynamic attacking setup since his Liverpool days. There's a rhythm, a confidence, a swagger to this Celtic side now. Even European scouts are taking notes, wondering if Scottish football has suddenly become a stage for revival stories. Zaha's ability to draw defenders creates space for everyone else, and when he's smiling, defenders panic. That's the power of personality on the pitch. It's contagious, and at Celtic Park, that energy feels unstoppable. Off the field, the Zaha effect has spilled beyond football. Local communities have rallied behind his charity initiatives, with reports that he's already visited youth programs in the East End. It's that connection with the people that's made him feel instantly at home. Glasgow loves players who play with heart, and Zaha wears his emotions proudly. He's been seen signing autographs outside Celtic Park, chatting with fans, posing for selfies. Not as a superstar, but as one of them. The press can sometimes build walls between players and supporters, but Zaha's breaking that pattern. It's raw, it's human, and it's why his story resonates. For a city built on passion and pride, he embodies both. Every great Celtic era has its icon, someone who defines not just results, but spirit. From Larsson to Nakamura, and now maybe, just maybe, Zaha is next in line. It's too early to crown him, but the feeling is there. You can sense it in the air, the belief that something special is building. But football is never just about fairy tales, is it? Whispers have already started, rival managers hinting that Zaha's presence adds pressure, that Celtic's dominance must now come with European proof. Pundits question whether he can sustain his form through the cold, brutal winter fixtures in Dingwall or Motherwell. Yet those close to him say this is exactly the challenge he craved. The Scottish grind, the intensity, the history, it's not glamorous, but it's pure. Zaha's career has always been about proving people wrong, and this feels like another chapter in that same story. The narrative writes itself. The star who traded comfort for authenticity, the player who found meaning in the roar of paradise. There's even talk that his leadership could push the club to reinforce further, with Rodgers reportedly eyeing another creative midfielder to complement him. Whatever comes, one thing's certain: Celtic is no longer flying under the radar. With Zaha, every game feels like a headline waiting to happen. The European nights are where the true tests will come. Celtic Park under the lights, there's nothing like it. And that's where fans are desperate to see Zaha shine. The Champions League anthem, the green smoke, the electricity in the stands, it's made for players like him. The draw wasn't kind, with heavyweights lurking, but nobody's doubting Celtic's belief. Rodgers has hinted that Zaha could be the difference maker, the kind of player who can change games in a single moment. Imagine it, the roar when he skips past a world-class defender, the eruption if he scores under those bright lights. It's the kind of moment that lives forever in the club's mythology. Celtic have history built on nights like that, and maybe, this season, they'll write another chapter. For Zaha, it's not about proving he belongs. It's about showing he was always meant for this. The spotlight, the passion, the pressure, it's exactly where he thrives. As the season rolls on, one truth has become clear. Wilfried Zaha hasn't just joined Celtic, he's transformed it. The fans feel re-energized, the players look sharper, and the entire league seems a little more alive. The story's only beginning, but it already feels iconic. Maybe that's what makes football so beautiful. It's not just about goals or stats, but about stories that make people believe again. And right now, in the heart of Glasgow, belief is everywhere. Every match feels like an event, every touch from Zaha a promise that something magical could happen next. The noise, the emotion, the unity, it's all back. Paradise has a new hero, and he wears number 11. The message is simple and loud. Celtic are not just competing, they're dreaming again. And with Wilfried Zaha leading the charge, those dreams don't feel distant. They feel real, roaring, and ready to shake Europe once more. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. The speculation also extends to tactical flexibility, with insiders whispering about formations that could fully exploit Godfrey's attributes while maintaining balance and control. Celtic could deploy a back three, allowing him to surge forward during attacks, or a traditional back four where his pace serves as a safety net, enabling fullbacks to push high without fear of being exposed. Fans are already imagining scenarios where his positioning nullifies counterattacks, dominates aerial duels, and provides a springboard for rapid transitions, transforming defensive solidity into offensive opportunity. Rumors abound regarding his potential impact on set pieces, both offensively and defensively, as his physicality and timing could turn corners into scoring chances or crucial clearances, reshaping match outcomes. Analysts suggest that even the smallest movements, such as how he tracks runs or covers passing lanes, could have disproportionate effects on team performance. Meanwhile, supporters are dissecting every snippet of footage, comparing it to past defensive schemes, and theorizing how Godfrey's inclusion could elevate the Hoops' overall defensive strategy. The excitement is compounded by the potential psychological effect on opponents, who may alter their approach simply knowing Godfrey's pace and presence are waiting to intercept or disrupt. Every fan, pundit, and commentator seems to be adding layers to a narrative that promises both tactical evolution and theatrical moments, a story where anticipation meets strategic possibility, making each upcoming match a tantalizing question of how far his influence will reach. In addition to tactical discussions, Whispers surrounding the transfer highlight the broader cultural and emotional impact of Godfrey joining Celtic. There's speculation that his arrival is a morale booster, an energizing force that could ignite the squad and inspire fans, creating a buzz that extends beyond the pitch. Rumors suggest that behind-the-scenes interactions, from training ground camaraderie to locker room leadership, may already be fostering a sense of cohesion and belief among teammates, making his impact as much psychological as tactical. Social media is flooded with threads imagining how his presence will intimidate strikers, reassure midfielders, and instill confidence in the team's overall defensive performance. Pundits debate whether this signing signals a broader ambition, hinting at a strategic plan to assert dominance both domestically and in European competitions. Fans are eagerly theorizing about potential leadership roles, mentoring younger players, and even symbolic gestures that position Godfrey as an integral part of Celtic's identity moving forward. Across forums, every conversation, speculation, and hypothetical scenario builds a narrative that blends strategy, excitement, and human drama, transforming a simple signing into a story that resonates with emotion and expectation. Rumors of private conversations between coaching staff and analysts suggest every detail is being considered, from tactical positioning to psychological influence, painting a picture of a club meticulously planning to harness Godfrey's strengths for maximum effect, and leaving supporters breathless with anticipation for what comes next. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.